Bonjour à tous. J'ai décidé de publier cette vidéo en mode public parce que je pense que ça peut susciter l'intérêt chez certains d'entre vous, mais surtout car j'aimerais avoir le retour des personnes, des accompagnateurs, des guérisseurs qui ont déjà rencontré le sujet de la fragmentation de l'âme ou qui accompagnent les personnes sur la réunification avec leur âme ou qui se connaissent sur le sujet de l'âme. Or, cette vidéo a été publiée en anglais dans le cercle de collaborateurs, de personnes avec lesquelles je suis en train de travailler actuellement. C'est un public anglais. J'ai quand même édité un PDF avec le texte, toujours en anglais, donc c'est plus facile à comprendre. Et je pense qu'avec les paramètres de YouTube, vous allez pouvoir mettre la traduction en français. Voilà, bah écoutez, n'hésitez pas, je suis très intéressée à avoir vos retours sur mon voyage, ma découverte, ma vision, les informations que j'ai reçues à ce sujet. Donc n'hésitez pas à me laisser des commentaires ou à partager cette vidéo avec des individus, des êtres compétents en la matière. Voilà, j'ai hâte de vous lire et bonne écoute. Hi all. I am Chiara, and I've been invited by Alobar to do a video about the topic of soul fragmentation, because this was a subject that I encountered with one of my clients, and I never had it before. I even didn't know how to approach this. And so I decided to go into meditation in my sanctuary to ask help from my higher self. And I had some vision and answers that I want to share with you. By the way, sorry for my English. I hope it is clear. And before to enter in the subject matter, I was invited to understand where does the soul come from and how it works, and then how it can be fragmented. Or now, to do this and to better understand this, I did some sort of PowerPoint that I will read, always because of my English, and perhaps with the written words, eventually it will be easier to understand. So I'm going to share what I received, some info I had already. And if you know already the subject of the soul, you can skip this first part because perhaps it's boring for you, and I understand. If not, bear with me, okay? Now, out of all dimension of time and space, the process of identification, the God seed, occurs, and it is called the permanent atom. It is at the origin of all manifestation and incarnations, and entered the times matrix through a consciousness stream with a unique specific signature. We are the result of specific fixed frequency point, sound vibration forming light units equivalent to stationary scalar waves, which are studied with geomancy and that we can call fire letters, giving to consciousness its individualized form in time. In the harmonic universe number 1, containing dimension 1, 2, and 3, we activate DNA strands 1, 2, and 3. The incarnates are created by the soul by groups of 12, forming the incarnated soul matrix connected to the double antiparticle identity, electrical masculine energy, the parallel harmonic universe 1. The harmonic universe number 2, containing 4, 5, and 6D, activating DNA strands 5, 6, and 4, 5, and 6, houses the consciousness of the soul matrix identity and contains the astral mind of dimension 4, the archetypal mind of dimension 5, and the angelic mind of dimension 6. The fusion of the body in the harmonic universe 2 with the body in harmonic universe 1 of the incarnate identity constitutes the integration of the soul, the first step in the spiritual enlightenment of the multidimensional personality. The soul identity of the harmonic universe 2 contains the 4D astral mind, the 5D archetypal mind, and the 6D angelic mind, and exists in a semi-etheric matter density state based on carbon silica. Soul identity represents the sixth dimension cognitive expansion state experienced with full activation of DNA strands 1 to 6. The soul matrix projects portion of itself into the harmonic universe number 1 to create sets of 12 manifest physical incarnation of matter, forming incarnation matrices, all at the same time. Okay, so I retrieved the map from the Ashayana studies about the geometry of our time matrix with the different density universe, harmonic universe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The dimension in Shak universe, the phantom matrix, and the antiparticle universe. To simplify this, I did this scheme. Sphere inside of other spheres, in spheres, in spheres, from the universe, harmonic universe number 1, the incarnate that we are. The second one be the soul, the 3-dimension, oversoul, avatar, etc. Full soul integration amplifies the embodied identity from a 3D consciousness to a 6D consciousness, activating dormant DNA strands 4 to 6, through which the incarnate becomes fully embodied soul. A fully embodied soul has 6D perceptive field and expanding reincarnation memory, able to experience clairvoyance, clairaudience, and 6D conscious astral projection, as well as bilocation into harmonic universes. Now, the soul is a projection of the oversoul. The oversoul identity represents the 9th dimensional cognitive expansion state experienced with full activation of DNA strands 1 to 9, can access the planetary memory record. Oversouls are created by avatars in group of 12, forming the oversoul matrix. The oversoul projects portion of itself into the harmonic universe number 2 to create groups of 12 souls, forming soul matrices. The avatar identity is the portion of the multidimensional identity that corresponds to harmonic universe 4, contains the 10th dimension Chris mind, 11th dimension Buddhic mind, and 12th dimension Nirvanic mind, and exists in a state of pre-matter liquid light. The avatar identity level represents the 12th state of cognitive expansion experience with full activation of all 12 DNA strands of the silicate matrix blueprint. It is the highest level of consciousness that can be embodied in physical human form. In the formation of manifest beings, identity gestalts are formed into exponential sets of 12. Larger consciousness gestalts fragment into smaller gestalts as they project into the levels of the energy matrix and the dimensional structure of the time matrix. Each soul is a gestalt identity composed of sets of 12 incarnates. Each oversoul a gestalt identity composed of sets of 12 souls. Each avatar gestalt identity composed of sets of 12 oversouls, etc., etc. The progression of the human identity, so it's from the incarnate, the soul matrix, oversoul, avatar, rishi, the solar form, etc., up to the divine seeds. So you all know if an identity is separated from its original stream of consciousness, it can no longer directly draw the vital substance from the divine source and perpetuates cycles of incarnations which were not at all planned in the original divine project. And this is another big subject eventually to share. One of the consequences of the hijacking of human energy was the attempt to fragment the human soul. Now, this is the vision I had and what it was explained to me. Okay, they wanted to show me the soul in the metaphor of a flower, of a lotus, which has a core and 12 petals. Every petal is an incarnation from the same projection of the soul matrix. The core of the soul is an extension projection of the oversoul. And we exchange information with source and between our 12 contemporary incarnation in our lifetime in order to grow and evolve. So from the core that they showed me, the divine core of the soul, there is a stream of consciousness going up and coming down, sending information to source and then being informed by source. From this core come the connection and the communication with every petals, every incarnate, which, as I wrote here, each vector, each incarnation named vector, exchange information to and from the core, is the dispatch information, and through the core to the other vectors. In an organic state of flow, all vectors are intertwined, and we share information with the other incarnate at the same time. One of the 12 incarnated fractions, this is a petal, or of the soul in each dimension at the same time. So the core is the divine spark, the stream of divine consciousness from and to source, the glue keeping all extensions together in communication with each other, collecting the information of each vector of incarnation. Now, the hijacking of negative aliens, how did I see that they did, among other things? Donc, they wanted to create a fragmentation of the soul matrix, and with this, the implementation of the shadow body in the fourth dimension, resulting in a lack of grounding, earth connection, and bringing to reincarnation cycles, due also to the manipulation of the DNA, of course, so that we forget and we became mortals, DNA modification included, but this is, of course, another story. So what I saw was a sort of frequency barrier around the core, which impeded communication with the flow of divine consciousness, of course, and between the vectors. And also it was able to cut the communication with the thymus gland, which is the superior heart. Now, what I understood is that the negative aliens cannot access the divine core. They would have loved to, but they can't possess the divine spark. But they can intervene to interfere with the organic communication from and with source and from and with the other soul extension vectors. That's what they did. And it seems that the frequency barrier around the core of the soul, mirroring, by the way, the one that was around the sun, is like an inverted electromagnetic field of sound and light, connected to a streaming more sound. What I felt, it was more about sound inversion, connected to a streaming network of harvesting living light source energy among other souls, like a network, like a web, connecting in order to suck organic energy. Also, so this network was connected among other souls who were affected. So the solution that I received was that we don't need to destroy this frequency barrier. Instead, reverse the polarity of the sound and light frequencies and reestablish the organic harmonics in partnership with the sun, because the sun is already doing it and it can give us help. En tout cas, anyway, give me help to do it, and I did it, by the way. Reverse the polarity effects of the frequency barrier will automatically reopen the communication between source, the core, and the extensions, the vectors. The thymus gland, the superior heart, will eventually reactivate as a result. Coherent communication between the soul and the earth will be reestablished and reactivate the potential to end reincarnation. Then more info received. Our sun is already operational in reversing the frequency barrier around the core of the soul and working together with the sun on its neutralization would be best. So this is a message, I think, for me, because I'm quite connected to these energies, to this group, was welcome the partnership with the Ra Guardian Group, which is an entity gestalt within the metagalactic core involved in the genetic and planetary morphogenetic fields, assisting in the realignment of genetic codes and soul matrices. The Ra Guardian Group helps to heal the Earth soul groups moving into 5D evolutionary potential, such as reintegrating the astral body, healing the heart complex, healing the shadow and pain body of deep trauma, and assisting with single soul embodiment. And the last info that I received, but it's not particularly linked to the soul anyway, from up to the fifth dimension, the prerequisite for the soul to incarnate is the retrieving of information and teaching from the planetary bodies of our local universe. The influence of the planets are linked to our karmic lessons, hence the study of astrology. Once we merge with the soul in 6D and from 6D onward, we won't be subject to their influence or intervention anymore, as far as karmic lessons are transmuted. The connection between our sun with the center of the galaxy and its distortion is, of course, all another story too. Distortion about the DNA matrices, which the sun is already transforming and healing for all humanity. So I will stop the sharing. Okay. So I thank you for having listened to me. I would really love to have a feedback from you. You have much more information about this topic, I'm sure, and perhaps there are things that don't speak to you at all. But I would really like to have a chat or exchange this info or other info connected to the soul and the matrices of soul matrices and DNA matrices, because I'm working on it. I'm working on it with my clients and I'm excited about it. This is all new information coming down. And yeah, sharing it is expanding consciousness, my one and everyone. Anyway, I salute you all and perhaps until next time. Bye. Thank you.